Hi, this is Steve from LZ23 Strength, where we exert ourselves, we elevate our health, and we evolve in mind and body. And today we're talking about a topic that is related to some other things that we've talked about before. And we're talking about Gait, G-A-I-T. It's interesting that Gait basically is just a unique pattern of walking or moving on our feet. And we're all pretty unique in the way that we do that, the way we swing our arms, the way our legs are shaped, the way we stand, the way we move. But something as you age, the gait can definitely change and have an impact on individuals as far as their health. And it's you think we don't have to think about it. It's something we were born with and we've developed along the way, but it's actually a complex process. It's influenced by our muscles, our nerves, even our mood, and even things like vision and hearing. Our hearing can come into play with this, but it kind of goes hand in hand with other things we've talked about regarding leg strength and balance, coordination. But it can indicate health, whether it's in a good way or bad way, depending on what we see. And so it's not the most exciting topic, but I encourage you to stay, and especially to the end, we'll talk about different things and why it's important. And just to lead off, I'm going to tell you that I just had a recent conversation with a friend at work and talking about my videos in general. They're not all earth-shattering when I talk about different areas, whether it could be something as simple as the loneliness epidemic I've talked about, to cognitive decline, to the gait. There's so many things that we just kind of take for granted and we don't think about, and that's why I'm presenting these things always just as a matter of information to think about it. I've mentioned a million times, and he's tired of it, and I'm sure you might be. I'm not a doctor, not a scientist. I really look into a lot of these things, but I'm just a regular Joe trying to make my way. I want to have a good health span, and I want to be healthy for a long, long time if possible, and it affects quality of life. So I present these things just for you to hopefully think about them. We're all busy and there's a lot of things that take our attention, and some of these things we just take for granted that they're normal, and they're always going to be until maybe the end of our lives where we're very old and all of a sudden some of these things are going to be affecting us. But it really can start a lot sooner. Things can change overnight for many of us, and then some of these things we're going to be talking about, the gait. I know individuals, and I'm sure if you think about it, you know individuals who are affected by it as well already. So some of the key aspects of gait is the pattern or sequence of walking, how we take our steps, how our body moves, how our feet touch the ground. Some people kind of walk on their toes, some are flat-footed. There's all different things, but it involves our coordination. So our nervous system is involved, and as I mentioned, even our vision and hearing can affect the way that we move. And we're all individual, so we're not all going to be cookie cutter as far as everybody walking the same. Everyone's going to be pretty unique, pretty much to the point where you could see somebody from far away and not really know who it is, but by their gait, you say, oh, I think that's Uncle so-and-so, or that's Aunt so-and-so, just from seeing them from a distance, the way that they're walking. Now, some of the common gait abnormalities are limping, dragging toes, shuffling, people who shuffle their feet, taking real short steps, looking off balance, feeling off balance. And I know individuals, family members, and acquaintances that fit almost every one of those scenarios or abnormalities. So it's part of our daily lives. We probably don't think about it. But if you thought about it, there's probably family members from mom and dad to aunts and uncles to grandmothers or grandfathers, people you work with, neighbors, somebody that's affected by that. And we just automatically assume, well, that's never going to be me. Which possibly it might not be, but possibly it could be, and especially if we don't give any attention to it. So some of the key aspects to observe when we walk or we see others walking is the speed and effort. If it's very challenging, people are heavy, look heavy as they're walking, weary, taking a lot of effort. It indicates some kind of health situation, which could be something in their spine, weak legs, even cognitive. Some of these things are linked to cognitive decline as well for way individuals walk. Parkinson's, early Parkinson's. So there's a lot of things to consider. Then there's rhythm and stride, balance and stability, even body movement. Is the person straight up? Are they kind of hunched? Are they crooked? All these things can have an impact regarding somebody's gait. Now, there's things that we can do to improve, and that's what we're always trying to look at. Always trying to move the needle. I use that illustration a lot because we want independence, we want mobility, not just when we're 40, 50, 60, but 70, 80, 90. We would like that too for a quality of life. So we're looking at key areas that we can make improvement. First one is strengthening. And you know, here on LZ23 Strength, we put a lot of emphasis on strength training. Well, when it comes to gait, we're primarily looking at having strong hips, strong legs, our quads, even our calves. They provide stability and push-off power, and then our core strength to help maintain posture and balance. And it's interesting, I was thinking of calves. I think that's probably one of the least exercised muscles that you'll see if you go to a gym. I think forearms and calves are probably two of the most neglected. Now they do get, I don't know if it would be considered residual or secondary work doing other exercises. I mean, obviously anything you're doing with your arms, your forearms are being affected, but I'm talking about direct work for probably the forearms are probably the least worked. Calves, I would say second in my opinion. But calves are easy to do even at home. You don't have to even be in a gym. Talk about balance on another video and doing calf raises while you brush your teeth. So it's something you can do even when you're cooking. You can do some calf raises. If you're waiting for the microwave, cooking something, you can do calf raises. So definitely something that we can give attention to easily in our daily routines. And there's also balance and coordination training that we can do. And we're going to talk about a few of these things because we want to avoid falls as we get older. And this is another area that we want to give that attention. And then there's flexibility and range of motion. We can do things because tight joints are going to cause shuffling, and if we improve ankle and hip mobility, that's going to give us smoother movement, all with the aim of a better health span. So the common improvement techniques are strength training, and I have a video on leg strength, and I'm going to actually be doing another one in the near future because it's funny, most of my life I've been working out since I was real young, and I would give some attention to legs, but it's only in recent years that I realized as we get older how vital and how important leg strength actually is. And seeing my mom just trying to get in and out of the car, seeing individuals trying to get up out of a chair, noticing more and more like, yeah, leg strength is probably more important in some ways than our upper body, although that's vital too. But I think leg strength needs to get a lot of attention. Then there's balance drills. As I mentioned, I have a video on balance, but there's other things that you can do. And we'll talk about a few of those coordination exercises. Now, it can get to the point where it's so serious that you need to seek help if you have chronic conditions, and on a daily basis, your gait is affecting your quality of life. Certainly want to seek medical attention and help when it comes to those areas. But let's talk about a few of the coordination exercises that we can do that can help us to have a good gait, balance, coordination, good quality of mobility. One is obstacle training. And I looked up a few things of what you can do. They recommend this. You get 5 or 6 small obstacles that you can put in a row about 15 inches apart and line them up on the ground. It could be anything from rolled towels to, you have small pillows, small stack of books, maybe even, depending what size, athletic hurdles, depending where you are what stage you are of health and athletic ability. And then you would face the obstacles, and with one foot you would step over the obstacle, bring your other foot over too. Then you would do that for all 5 or 6 of the obstacles, and either you would walk back or you'd turn around and do it and then lead with your other foot. So it's a pretty simple exercise. You probably want to start small depending, again, what stage you're at of health and athletic ability and training, and do a couple sets of that. And what's nice, once you've done that, then you can switch over to what's called sidestepping exercises, where depending on the height and the size, but you would use the same obstacles, good work, and you would stand sideways. You would lift your knee up high, step over the obstacle sideways, and then do the same with the other foot. Go all the way through the 5 or 6 obstacles, and then do the same thing starting with the other foot, going back the other way. So it's not real complicated. At some point, maybe I'll make a little video giving my observation of how to do it, and it's a nice routine that we can add into it. And then finally, something that I've talked about before, and they call it retro walking, but I call it backward walking. And we've talked about walking backwards, even with a weighted vest, but you don't have to use a weighted vest. But just walking backwards improves hamstring flexibility, quadricep activation, balance and coordination, walking speed, and your step length and stride length can all be affected in a positive way by walking backwards regularly. Again, all these things that we're talking about, safety first. You want to do it where you can do it in a safe fashion to improve. And the backward walking, I think, outside, if you have a backyard, is ideal because you know the terrain and you're not going to get involved in anything that could hurt you. So these are just some tips that I wanted to talk about regarding our gait. They all come into play with the balance, leg strength, coordination, mobility, independence. It's something to give attention to. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I think we take a lot of things for granted, that we feel good, we move good, and that's going to be the case for decades to come. But so many things can impact that I just want to put that out there to think about it. And really all my videos are geared that way because we're all unique. We're all unique in our health and our circumstances, our abilities, our time, our energy. We're all busy. So we can only do so many things, but want to at least think about it when it comes to our health. We don't have to be obsessed on a daily basis and worry and be obsessed that we're doing these things, but we do need to think about them. We can't just ignore them because one day they're going to come and bite us in the butt. So present that to you and encourage you to think about it. But I really do appreciate you watching, and I hope you smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Look forward to giving you more content. Remember to exert yourself, elevate your health, evolve in mind and body, and we'll talk to you soon.